Hi, today I want to talk about anniversaries and absence, remembering milestones after loss. There's a strange ache that settles in the chest when a familiar date approaches, a birthday, a first kiss, an anniversary, when the person you once shared it with is no longer part of your life. Whenever the absence is by choice or by fate, breakup or death, the calendar doesn't really seem to care. It brings back the memory to you anyway. For me, remembering milestones in relationships that have ended is like flipping through a photo album that I didn't really ask to open. The images are sharp, the colors are vivid, even when I wish they would fade. Some dates are etched so deeply that they arrive like an alarm bell in my body. The day we met, the day we said goodbye, the morning I got the call. I always remember the day my grandmother passed away and the day my twin flames said goodbye. There are other dates I remember as well, but those are just two examples. There was a time that I tried to forget them. I believed that by not acknowledging the anniversaries, I could avoid the pain. But grief, I learned, does not need an invitation. It shows up anyway, sometimes loud and many times sharp. Other times it can come in quiet and sneaky, like the scent of someone's cologne in a crowd. The hardest part isn't always the loss itself, but the quiet persistence of memory, the way a song can pull you under, how your hand reaches for your phone before you remember that there's no one to text anymore, how you still count the years even if no one else does. The pain I've come to understand doesn't just come from missing the person. It comes from the shattering of expectations of the future you imagined, but you will never live. It comes from the echoes of love that have nowhere to go, from the tenderness you still carry with no place to rest it. It comes from the loss of a shared language, a shared history, the quiet comfort of being known. It also comes from change, the way grief forces you to evolve in ways you didn't ask for. Every memory is a reminder of who you were, and sometimes that contrast with who you are now is very hard to bear. The pain is layered, part longing, part confusion, part gratitude, part disbelief. But somewhere in the ache, I have found a strange kind of grace. Remembering doesn't always mean reopening wounds. Sometimes it means honoring what is good, even if it didn't last. Sometimes it means seeing the version of yourself that loved fully, trusted deeply, and hoped without reservation. And over time, I've come to believe it is better, healthier, and even to let the memories and the pain flow rather than to trying to forget. Forgetting demands a kind of emotional amputation, a cutting off the parts of your own history. But memory, even when it hurts, is a thread that connects you to who you are. The pain is proof that something mattered, that someone mattered. Letting yourself feel that is not a weakness, it's an act of courage. When we allow the pain to come, we create space for healing. It moves through us instead of getting stuck inside. Ignored grief does not disappear, it hardens. But acknowledged grief softens over time, making room for compassion, for growth, and for clarity. And most of all, I've come to see just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it failed. Some chapters are complete, not broken. That love, that shared time taught me things that I carry forward. It makes me stronger. It deepens my understanding of myself and of others. It stretched my emotional vocabulary. It left me with memories that still shimmer with meaning, even through the sadness. I will walk forward now, not empty, but fuller, with pieces of that relationship still living in how I listen, how I love, how I let go, and in that way the relationship continues. not in presence, but in legacy. So now instead of erasing the calendar, I mark the days quietly. I light a candle, I write a letter, take a walk. I let myself feel whatever comes: grief, gratitude, regret, and love. Because even with the relationship is gone, the memory remains. And sometimes the remembering is what makes me human. If you're struggling with a specific anniversary, please go to mammothedge.com and take the life assessment. I would love to hear about the specific anniversary that is in your heart. Thank you.